and we may kick off if we got right, my man. One or two other people were maybe going to join, but we can kick off either way and then catch up. Thank you all for coming along. I super appreciate your interest in what is been a very exciting and trying time building an app. I have given the title of the webinar. I appreciate it was it seemed catchy at the time, but as Mark did say, I could be offending half of my desired target audience, being that we're surrounded by coaches and my love of being able to create this for coaches. Let me just share my screen and we'll go to a presentation. And we'll go there. Go big. It was easier to do when I went like this. Everything's in my way. So, never need to pay for a life coach again. I'll get rid of this one. Oh, you're in the way. So, the reality is the word need was put in there on purpose because I do appreciate the value of coaching. But in essence, what I'd like to achieve is the ability to help you. Oh, why would you say no? So that you could find your answers with Game On. And I believe a good coach is somebody that can ask good questions. And the reality is that if you've got the question set of which I've been creating over time that I believe to be of value and a nice wide range of things that can bring in your mindset to be able to alleviate the need for external care and coaching as much as practical, and potentially change the way that your mind actually functions and the tracks in your brains, way you're built to be able to actually, see the world in a different way. So it is important to me that I just put that out there, such as the value that I may never use the title again, so I don't have to apologize. But I'd like to also explain that I've come to this conclusion through the time that I've spent on the app, and I have got that experience where I believe I have never felt such resilience and calmness in my own body, and I've got there through my 11 years of being a wellness facilitator. And in my bookshelf, I have so many books that are all about happiness. And if there's a decent book on happiness and I hear of it from anyone recommending, I will grab it. Now, Write Yourself Happy was a book that really spoke to me because I do like writing. And if you're interested, write this down, take notes. It's actually a really valuable book to pick up. And so that's Write Yourself Happy by Megan C. Hayes. And in that was a process of like 10 weeks of positive journaling that I practiced. And it was one of those times where it really did bring out the life of me, like my past, my present, my future. It just showed my life to be so, beautiful and like I had enough, and just really amplifying the fantastic parts of my life. When, without going down the full life story at the moment, you know, and everyone's had a challenged life, right? There's no one that gets away with a life that is without challenges. So here I was doing my Write Yourself Happy journaling. And then when the system finished and I went through all the questions, as you do, you try and keep up the practice, but the practice fell away, and journaling itself was a challenge to keep continuing into my morning routine, my day routine, as much as I did love it. I mean, I even actually created hour-long journaling sessions in person before my laughter yoga session. So I'd book the venue for laughter yoga that I used to facilitate, and I'd do an hour of positive journaling, and then we'd do laughter yoga. So I'd have a few people turn up, and I sensed the power. It was incredible, and it was just unmistakable. So from there, I had that, you know, shift in gears of how incredible the potential was there. And then from that point, it was being in COVID, listening to the radio and hearing a radio station callback. And commercial radio stations don't get to follow on and do the same callbacks regularly, right? But they did this one where they asked people to call in about their gratitude. And so I was familiar with the value of gratitude with all the books I have on my shelf. And, you know, I had the brain spark about GAIM On at the time. And what was blowing me away about this radio segment was how the presenters were just speechless at how powerful it was that people were ringing in and explaining their gratitude. And I was there, and I was like just feeling it in my body about the path that I was setting myself on, and how not only was there a bunch of listeners out there that were also presumably feeling this same immense, you know, feeling within their body of relief and of resonating with others, but they couldn't repeat it. It was just something that they couldn't just keep banging on about every day. So I knew that my time, my purpose was to be, you know, that shining light and being able to promote gratitude as best as I could. So I want to talk about now how we've got apps. You know, we've all got phones and we've got apps. Everyone got wellness apps on their phone, various, you know, options and choices there. So, you know, a lot of people don't think that an app can take the place of a coach. And like I mentioned earlier, you know, a good coach holds you accountable. It offers you questions that are, you know, really, you know, hitting those points in your life to bring out the questions, to bring out the answers to the questions that they have. And there's a consistency. You know, you need to have, you know, you need to actually want the coaching, right? You need to be saying, all right, this is actually a value to me, and I'm going to commit. Like, no one can make you do anything. But there's something about the apps that I have that don't really draw me in. There's no real stickiness that keeps me going there. So in my development phase, I really wanted to create something with GAIM On to help create something there, create a draw, which I knew was an important part of being able to create a wellness app that worked, that kept people coming back and feeling connected. So, you know, there's also that experiential learning. Like, what wellness app experiential learnings, you know, are available? You know, there's meditations and things that are available that help you get to the next stages and places in your life. But it's, you know, it's up to the individual to turn up and show up. And that's always the case, no matter what personal development journey you're on. Now, there's also, if feel like you've got no time for another app in your life, people are time poor, and I get it. And some things, really do push you out for, commitment. And I wanted to create something that was super efficient. And there's many different aspects to my own morning routine, from physical, with exercise, meditation. And then I wanted to add that journaling aspect that I felt was so powerful in my life. I wanted to be able to add that without it being a burden of time in my life. So, there's a certain amount of efficiency in the steps that we needed to be able to create to make this a positive experience, and not something that would get pushed aside so easily. And then there's even if the wellness, program, the other apps that are out there, even if they work, are they sustainable? Are their life choices, or the way that they want you to participate, are they too extreme, where there's too much for you to do? And I totally get it. In this modern age, we don't want to have to do too much to be able to get a result. And for me, being able to understand those questions that I'd like to ask within the Game On system is about that efficiency. What can we ask to get us to touch on those points as quickly and as easily, and start that brain connection to what it is that can create a positive day and a positive life experience. So that is something that's super important to me, is to be able to make this efficient for people, and simple, efficient, and get to a result, place, and outcome as quickly as practical. Now, I've been looking at how much I use my phone and how much social media I actually absorb. And, you can check these things on your phone. And I'm using social media about an hour and a half a day currently. And, considering that I actually use social media as a platform to promote what I'm doing, that kind of cuts into that hour and a half. But on average, people are using social media for about 2.5 hours a day. And it's all about the way that you spend your time. We're all say we're time poor, but it's about, me hopefully being able to create a context and a value and benefit basis to what can be achieved by using Game On. And from that point, helping people reprioritize the time that they spend on whatever platform they choose, but with hope that Game On becomes more attractive and actually makes people feel good for being there. And by doing that, it helps people spend time there. So, we want people to be, I don't know why that button doesn't work anymore. So you want people to actually enjoy the experience. And that's something that I've, and Justin, really trying to create something that's, there's no point, there's no value in personal development or the work that you do if it's not a beautiful experience, and it makes you get those dopamine hits in a healthy way. So the other aspect that we'd like to create is actual human connection. So we've got starting on Thursday, the Go Team Live, and Go Team is my abbreviation for Game On, is GO, and then Team, bringing the users in and then creating a live experience. So on the Thursday evening at present, and then we'd probably do another one to suit other time zones, to be able to come together and have a meditation. And then from that point, throw the microphone around and get people to express what their challenges are and, what their wins have been. Because there's something really special about Game On and as much as it's, I try and promote it as a positive platform, the positivity that I actually find in real time is that people are working on their challenges in real time in front of you. So it's a little unexpected, because I haven't got the ability to be able to tell people what to do while they're journaling, but it is a positive experience because it's not like toxic positivity. People aren't just being positive for the sake of it, as you would find on other social media platforms where people are putting their best lives out there. Their holidays, their beautiful dinners, and their family all finally settling and looking like they're all part of one unity team, and no one's cross or crying or shouting or complaining. So what we've got with Game On is really special, where we've got actual genuine challenges being met, faced, and you can tell within the writing that people are actually dealing with this in real time, and by the time that they're through the system, they're out the other end, and you feel in their writing that they've taken charge of their day. So that has been a positive experience that came through challenges. So in the live event, I'd like to promote people to be able to share the challenges they've met, because it's something that we all resonate with, and it is a positive aspect to that group therapy, would you call it? So yeah, it's that's an exciting part, to be able to get us all together and have that live experience and all get to share what we've been dealing with. So all of this comes down to creating what I'd like to produce, and that's vastly improved mental wellness for people on a large scale, and by creating team environments, being able to create little hubs of people that are lighthouses of wellness. And when there's a specific vibe that people can gather from a certain person or even a group, then that ripple effect and the support that these people can create from taking care of their own mental wellness, putting that oxygen mask on themselves and doing their work, and then being able to provide the service that they can help others in their community. So, that's a really special thing that I believe Game On can create, and I can talk about that later in the creation of teams and that ability to be a lighthouse for your circle of friends or the people that you influence. And on a very real note, as well as the ability to reduce, the potential for suicide, because, I've known way too many people in my circles that have taken their own lives, and it's unnecessary, and it's a real challenge to know how to deal with, because that people are, this is not a new thing. It's been happening forever, but we want to be able to try our best to help alleviate that stress, and like with that lighthouse theory of that ripple effect, and people knowing that there's potential touch points or more people around them that they can visibly notice, or visibly energetically notice, that these people have actually changed, and they can ask them, I've noticed a change in you. You seem to have your finger on the pulse for something, what's happening there? So whatever we can do to help that situation and those statistics is definitely high on the agenda, as much as I don't really advertise it or talk about it. But from a personal level, that's really important to me too. And then, just helping people that wouldn't normally get involved in personal development. So there's a lot of people that, wouldn't want to meditate or sit with their feelings and listen to their ugly thoughts that they may have, that they try and move away from by just staying busy. There's a potential for people that are just coasting along and they're doing fine, but they could definitely use some tools for when the challenges of life finally rear their ugly head. So yeah, just trying to package it in a way that helps people from all walks of life find their way towards personal development in a way that's packaged in almost a distraction from the fact that we are doing personal development work together. So that takes influencers, and that takes people that are able to implement this into workplaces and create circles of friends and teams that are doing the work together. So my personal story, in a quick version, is I've been doing wellness facilitation for 11 years now. And before that, I was still this cheeky, smiling kid. So as a kid, I grew up with a family business, and that family business taught me a lot about psychology and stress in the workplace from a very young age. And it was apparent to me then that I didn't want to live my life with stress. And so growing up, as it kind of happens when your parents work for themselves, you end up working for yourselves also. And I just created my path. And in my 20s, I just went through, owning a business in the construction industry. And it's very hard to say that you're not going to live your life with stress when you're, in the big wide world, because you can't control the energy of an entire workforce. So it's a very interesting way to grow up. And then actually, try, I suppose the older you get, the more you have an ability to affect the way that you work. But there's also, very real rock bottom experiences that helped me create the need to actually change the way I was doing life. And that's, and always wanting to find a way, and finally, stumbling upon laughter yoga and facilitating laughter yoga as the niche to my wellness business, Kaizen Wellbeing Worldwide. And that was fantastic for creating a toolkit for me of not only a perspective of how to do life, and pulling out as many pieces of information as I could to help people put into context why they would participate in something like laughter yoga, which, for anyone that's interested, is on Saturday afternoon here in Fremantle. It's always I've started doing it again monthly, so that's pretty interesting, because I had a bit of a break there. I knew I would like to add it again to my life at some stage, and now is the time, because creating community is so important. And for many years I had a weekly laughter club with creating a community group, and it was always good for my soul. And here I am now, able to comfortably present and talk about the things that, and the tools and things that I developed over all those years, and putting them all together into a package like GAIM On. And I also was facilitating corporate, so that was a great experience too, to be able to be in front of people in different walks of life, from the offices in the city to conferences to one just out of COVID was the cancer nurses of Western Australia had their first meeting for since COVID. And it was such an interesting position to be in, to be able to kick off a regular meeting that'd been happening for years and years and years, and they were brave enough to implement something like that. All the way to YouTube, where I'm laughing on a train, and we've got over 23 million views and over 900,000 likes on that video. So that's pretty exciting and pretty good fun to be part of as well. So that's where I kind of came from, and the journaling and everything that comes with that is in that wheelhouse of having that direction, having that focus on creating a positive life experience, and trying to find as many different ways as I could through that time to get there as quickly as possible, just to be able to drop into sessions like that, little wellness ideas and things that people can action quickly and easily, because it's all very well to be there in person and then create a group session, but what do people take away? Like, it was very hard for people to practice laughter yoga on their own. So I've always wanted to be able to create something that people could do. They'd be self-led. They could do it on their own in their own time, and they don't need to be, it doesn't have to be explained so much as creating a system that people can do in the privacy of their home, with friends, whichever way they choose to use the system. So from this point, we have, look at this buff guy. Can you guys see this annoying bar on your screen? Do I get rid of that up there? But yeah, who's Game On for? And Cade is on our calls. So Cade is a PT, and he's got a group of clients all online and all across America. And so Cade's using Game On to help his team create some connectivity. And he's a beautiful kid. He clearly good looking, but he's where he comes from and his ability to use journaling and mindfulness to help create a holistic approach to, if you're mentally capable, then you're more likely to go and do exercise and things like that. So, he's able to utilize Game On for his crew. And so, Game On is for people that are fit and healthy, but it's also for people that are, suffering from, feeling varying degrees of anxiety and stress and overwhelm. So, it's not just for people on, the high life. And, a lot of people must look at me with my laughter yoga and Game On and sprouting positivity and think that I'm just a super happy go lucky guy and I don't face challenges. But the reality is true that, we all do feel varying degrees of stress and anxiety throughout our lives. And Game On is definitely there to help, even out that roller coaster and find direction in my life. And all the way to people that are genuinely suffering from mental illnesses, because, there's 1 in 5 people will suffer a mental, condition throughout their life. It's a huge number. It is over a life, but it is also something that I believe we can, alleviate to a degree with tools. And in my life, I've had the chance to be able to utilize the tools that I've learned and really reduce the time period of which my mental health has deteriorated because of, emotional challenges, and it really reduces the time, lost time, lost work time, all of these things that are, it's all very well, when you're in these times of challenge, to mourn the loss of someone, something, or whatever you're facing. But no one really is, putting money aside for these emotional downturns. And so, it's a financial burden with mental illness that, we can help create people to get back to work quicker and easier, just make life easier in general. And that is a level of success that we'd like to create. So from here, I'd like to discuss a fantastic testimonial from Beth Ann. And when I woke up to this in the Game On feed, I really couldn't believe it could be so well written. And if you'd like to read that yourself, I'm not going to read it. There's nothing worse than somebody reading off a screen and, like you're a child. But there's some element to this that just touches on every single aspect of what, I would like people to be able to achieve. Ben, do you want me to read it for you? You want me to read that? I can read it. It's Mark's giving me a thumbs up.
Yeah, I got a screenshot of the top of it, so I'm pretty good for that. Okay. And I got to say, I know Beth Ann through the Healy stuff, and she's a beautiful soul.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah. Well, I'll just give it a touch over. And, the fact that she can say that, she's, the community is helping her. It's allowing her to be conscious of her underlying emotions with mental, spiritually, and physical being daily. And to me, that's just touching on all of those points is so critical and so rewarding for me to hear that it's being received in that way. From there, she moves on to how she's feeling and, just being able to help her. Emotions do drain us. So, when we're tired and these times, we're able to reset if we're able to put our words down in front of us, and it dissipates those negative feelings. And it also helps us step back and look at the way we feel differently. And from that point, we can, our brain starts working our way out of that situation like a super coach. I believe that journaling helps you create that ability to be a coach, your own self coach. And from that point, your own self super coach. But, and Beth Ann here, she's had some friends that have passed away, and that's going to happen in our lives. We're going to see these things happen, and to be able to share that with the community, and for us to be able to give her support, or if you know her personally, just to be able to touch on that when you get to speak to her. Setting her intentions. She's just given it just the most amazing journal entry, which I'm just so pleased that we got the opportunity to experience that. And like I say, when people are journaling in their realness and being able to work through themselves in real time, like I'll allow the feeling to come, but quickly correct and move towards a positive state. She's really coaching herself into a positive state for a great day. So it's a stunning entry, and I'm really pleased that Game On gets used in such a way. So now let's take a look at the app and what Game On system is able to provide. And it started with gratitude, such as the power of gratitude, and how many books in my shelf are, got gratitude in them as their highest, most reliable source of happiness and the fastest way to happiness. There's a beautiful story of this young guy in Martin Seligman's positive psychology course at the University of Pennsylvania. And he's been asked to write down somebody that's grateful, that he's grateful for in his life, that they may not know that they've been so supportive. So you write down a letter, you meet with the person, and then you either give them the letter or you read the letter out loud to them, saying why you're so grateful for them and the effect they've had on your life. And this young man, he had a letter to his parents, and he never got around to giving the parents the letter until tragically his brother died of a car accident. And so he turns up to the family home, and his with the family, and they're grieving the loss of the brother, which was obviously extremely tragic and extremely sad. And so he brings out this letter and he gives it to the parents to say how grateful he was for the upbringing that they had provided for him and given him the life that he has. And obviously, you know, the same would have been felt by his brother that had tragically passed. But I can imagine the energy in that room being so greatly shifted based on just that letter of gratitude, being able to, you know, it would have been from tears of tragedy to tears of joy, and knowing that the family did have, you know, such a great family unit and so much potential that they, you know, the parents gave their children. And, you know, if their son had, you know, lost his life too soon, but, you know, he obviously had a great life to that point. So something so powerful is just so one of the reasons why we start with gratitude. And if you've read through there, those different points, you know, there's just so many there that affect me over the times, and definitely something that I felt in practicing Game On. I've never been so happy. And after practicing laughter yoga for so long and thinking that would have been something that would create the happiness, to noticeably feel a shift in my happiness in my life through this experience, for me is an awesome test. So from that point, we've got awareness, and the Game On acronym GA, we go with awareness, and awareness being a very important part of mindfulness itself. But in the question for the app, we go with awareness for how we're feeling, and that improves our ability to articulate our emotions and feelings, which improves our emotional intelligence. And emotional intelligence, somewhat widely accepted as more valuable to your potential success than your IQ, based on your ability to be able to deal with others and people in your lives, and not so much manipulate your way to success, but just to be able to understand people and get the most out of them, and become great at managing people and being empathetic to people's needs and the way that they do life. Is super important for your ability to be able to, you know, merge and mesh with, you know, the world around you and get the results that you require as well. So, you know, by getting to that level, you're also able to create, you know, those knock-on effects of reducing stress and anxiety and depression. And like I was saying earlier, just being able to reduce your own negative feelings when you see them on a page in front of you. There's a great story of Griffin Colapinto, one of my favorite surfers on the World Surf Tour. And he was surfing at Bells Beach, and he wrote down a journal entry, because you can imagine how nervous you'd be if you were to be surfing on a world stage. And, you know, not only is it critical to be able to get a result, but you also, you know, got all the eyes of the world on you. And so he wrote down his feelings and, you know, his stresses and anxieties of turning up and surfing in that competition. And he, being a young, you know, modern age kid, he took a photo of it and he put it on, and why he's one of my favorite surfers, he put it on Instagram. And he went out and surfed his heat, posted the highest heat total of the day. And then when he came in and they interviewed him, they said, "Oh, we saw you posted your journal entry on Instagram. What's going on there?" And he's like, "Oh, yeah, I just wanted the kids to see it and just know that, you know, we all have these feelings of anxiety and things." And he said, "You know, when I wrote down my words, and then they just seemed silly, you know, like he was kind of laughing it off because he obviously felt a bit self-conscious of, you know, going to that depth. But the ability to be able to alleviate like those words and their anxiety of having to go surf in this competition, you know, it showed with his success and being able to surf, you know, because if you're free from stress, you're able to perform at your best." So it was in my eyes, just a fantastic story of, one of my favorite surfers and, personalities being able to utilize, posting their journal entry and creating a great success from it. And then we have our intention. And one of the secrets of the world is out in setting your intention for the day and creating, some incredible results by putting it down. And this is so cool to be able to not only get tough tasks done but it's also just, setting your mind up and priming your mind to be able to be where you need to be. And we've got development works into the intention section of the app, which we're looking forward to releasing future time and helping really lean on the power of intention and make that ever, just tweak the power potential there. So super exciting. And something I like to do with my intention is actually setting up positive emotions and creating an ability to just see the day in a better light. There's a movie called About Time where, it's like the guy gets to actually do his day again. He's just got this, it's a fantasy fictional sort of movie, obviously, but he gets to redo days. And he's a lawyer, so he has stressful, job and things. But then if he redoes that day with the lightness and a lightheartedness and fun and jokes around a little bit, he gets to actually have these amazing days. And the reality is that we kind of get to redo our days ourselves. So by doing the day differently from what you did yesterday, as much as you can't replay the day exactly the day that's been, if you get to actually choose the way that you handle your day and put out a new energy to create a new way of living, then we do have that opportunity. Now we have a mindful moment, and the mindful moment I've put in there because mindfulness has been so important to me to create the life that I lead, that is one of less stress and anxiety and a real calmness about me, based on the fact that I'm more present. When I had really rough time in my life, I wanted to be anywhere but that place, that time of my life. I wanted to just future focus and just see, okay, I need to be out of here. I need to be there. And that doesn't create happiness. That actually just, can manifest itself into, actually just reliving these challenges. So for me, mindfulness has been huge. Practicing being in the present moment has worked. I am now more present than ever before. And by doing so, I live a much more beautiful life. I see things differently. I amplify, the best parts of my life. Something that is treasured is, times with people, just nature, like the things I see in nature. And it helps me on many levels. And I was only talking to someone today about meditation and that aspect of it didn't work for them. And as much as literally 1 in 10 people, meditation has a detrimental effect for them. And that's real. But a lot of people turn up to meditation or try meditation without the philosophy of meditation, the philosophy of mindfulness. And they're not quite familiar with the steps and the aspects and the ways of thinking in a mindful way, so that when you are actually sitting in meditation, you have those thoughts to help, kind of self-coach your way through a meditation. And meditation is valuable if you're able to, gain value from it. But it's also the time that you spend in meditation, is actually throughout the day. Like just like going to the gym, you go and lift weights in the gym, and then once you've left the gym for the rest of the day, your body feels different, and you've got this, smoother way of, walking, and you just feel stronger. And by meditating, and for me, it's just short meditations personally, but regular, regular short meditations for me works, and it helps organize my mind and my thoughts and my reactions. And I think I've explained to my kids that, if you're actually a meditator and you're actually able to, get some benefit out of that, it really becomes a superpower when you walk into the room, because it's like, a great sportsman like a Jordan will see, the movement slower, and you kind of can pick up on things, and you've got that ability like a great sportsman just to see the world, in less speed. You've got those frames that you can take note of, and nothing really catches you out as easily when you're able to organize your thoughts as you do from the practice of meditation, which has all of these fantastic knock-on effects here. So organized non-doing, this is my kind of version of meditation that I've created. Non-doing is actually the philosophy of Wu Wei, which is an ancient philosophy, which I could explain like, for example, a house plant. I love house plants, but if you do too much to them, they will die. If you don't do enough, they'll die. You've just got to find a nice, balance with your house plants to help them survive and thrive. So the same with yourself. Like, we've got a balance in our life that we need to kind of uphold. And for me, organizing non-doing holds an ability to be able to, create a time where you can switch off. And whatever you do in that time, whether it's a meditation, whether you're just staring into oblivion, or it's just a very short time just to take your mind off task, to help you relax, rejuvenate, recharge, and, to have a think about different ways of doing your task. It's amazing how much effect a couple of minutes off a task can achieve. And organizing non-doing for me is what I also like calling living my lotto life, because as a busy person, if you can actually realize that by switching off for a few minutes, you can also create a ability to, the world keeps spinning. Like, you can still achieve what you needed to achieve with short breaks. And sometimes we get caught thinking that we need to just keep going, and there's no time to stop. But that's a mental, train of thought, or a habit, or a culture that we've formed to create that intensity, which, doesn't actually create the results that we're so looking for. So super important to be able to have that power or a priority to switch off for a couple of minutes and just shift the way that your whole body reacts to your day. So something that is kind of my own creation in essence in the GAIM ON system. So where are we now? So we're going to maybe look at the actual GAIM ON app itself. How do we get out of that? We go exit, escape that one maybe. I don't want to go all the way out of that, but we will. All right, let's have a look at the GAIM ON app itself. Can we see that? Should have already logged in. So the GAIM ON app is this beautiful thing here. We've got the public feed. You're all pretty familiar with it, but I will go through. So we've got my post here. So today, I said that in the future, I was going to be grateful for the hard work I'm putting in, as I will no grow without it. And I'm aware that I currently feel like I need to work on my self-talk, grounding as I step towards my webinar today. Because I'm nervous and excited, but as this is my favorite thing to do, I believe myself to be able to navigate the day with a balance of what it is that I know will work for me. And here I am actually at the webinar, doing the webinar, and I seem to be managing. So my intention is to be kind to myself today. Work out my day, being true to what is important and leave the stuff that isn't important off the list. And I've been struggling to prioritize what needs to be done of late, with the days seem to just go so fast. And today I'll do it differently, do what I know is important now. And so the video I actually chose today was amazing. It was a meditation that, in essence, taught me to be kind to my spirit. What I drew from that meditation was be kind to my spirit. And it really did have a knock-on effect for me today, because I went for a walk and I just felt so moved that, you've got this spirit, which is, we're not sure, is it an eternal spirit that we carry with us from different lives, or what exactly it is, we'll never exactly know. But if I am taking my spirit for a ride through life, why would I not want to give it the best experience that I know how? So that was my takeaway from a meditation today, which I think is quite valuable. So yeah, that was my result today. And I'd like to show you the teams, because the teams are an aspect to Game On which is unique, and your ability to be able to create a team quite easily. You just put in a team name, a team description, choose your image, create a team, and then you invite people into that, which is being able to help people create the benefits of which we've been talking about in this beautiful environment, community spirit, and something that can be shared as far and wide as you choose. And there's every reason to get part of this Game On system and create a team. And you got to be a lighthouse in this situation. If you're a person that's confident to be able to create something like this, then I really recommend and hope that you get that confidence from knowing the value of it to start your team and start a movement with the people that you know. We're always going to be developing Game On and creating new features and ways of making it better and better. And if you're a coach, if you're an influencer, we've got some fantastic things coming up for you, but just to try and test out Game On itself and see how that sits with you. And then from there, we're hoping to be able to provide you to create your own wellness app, or for whatever purpose that you would like an app similar to Game On, whether we're customizing it for your workplace, branding it with your workplace, or you're a coach that wants to join a community and create your own social media. So it's super exciting place to be in, and high five to everybody here for coming along and seeing what that's all about. I think I was just showing you, that's just all my posts, my journals. So I can go back and look at all of my old posts, and if I feel a time of retrospection, I can have a look at that. Non-doing timer, so it can help you find your flow with your non-doing. So that is the beautiful Game On app. I've kind of clumsily found my way here, but I will press this button, go there. Come on, baby. No. I don't know a better way to do that now. I was doing okay. Anyway, I would like to offer, before we go to a question and answer, a special offer. You can always download the Game On app for free and utilize it yourself. The deal for starting your own team is as little as $5 a month, and you can start as many teams as you like and have as many people join you for creating your own, place to bring people and just to take those simple steps within the Game On system that, as mentioned, create all those fantastic benefits. For the limited time, we're offering a lifetime subscription for $97 to give us a little kickstart to the development of the app, and would really love that support. And for that, you get to create as many teams as you like for as long as you like, and get to enjoy all the new features. And, you know, with inflation, we will never attack you for bumping up prices. So, but yeah, for our lighthouse leaders and people that are fantastically supportive of our cause, we would appreciate that. And I'll be sending an email out with the well, Justin could throw it in the chat. Jesus, 27 things in the chat. The we can maybe, Justin, you throw in the link to the lifetime subscription there. I was going to have it ready, but you're a jet. And then, oops. And then, yeah, if you'd like to look at a corporate deal for people that have got more, well, that's a bit, I don't know if everyone's saying this. But yeah, if you'd like to create the Game On system in your organization, then give me a call and we can talk about how we can make that happen for you on a larger scale, with more of a package deal with onboarding and sessions to help us run Game On smoothly in your neck of the woods with your people that matter the most to you. So thank you, everybody. That's my talking done. Appreciate your attendance and listening. But now, options open to you if you'd like to ask any questions, comments, anything.
Yeah, I just say I think it was really good, Peter. Sorry I was off camera. I've got carpet fitters in, and I've got people running around, so that's why I had to dip out. But I think that yeah, I think what you've got there is really good, really interesting. And yeah, I've actually gone into the app, downloaded it now. I hadn't done before, so I've downloaded it, and I look forward to having a little play with it. And yeah, so I'll just say thank you so much for sharing that with us today.
Thank you, Wendy. Wendy, you've got you're a coach, right?
Yeah.
And so you've got online clients?
Yeah, I have online clients and face-to-face clients. Yeah.
Yeah. So would you have any thought on how that would work for you to kind of have them, you know, doing something together to create a some sort of unity with them, or does it, you feel it's more of a private experience with your coaching?
I think it depends on the client, really, because some are more open because they know when they share they gain more. And I think for some, you know, when they listen to someone else's experiences, it's kind of, oh, my day's not that bad, in a good way. So it's like, because, you know, you've got that shared environment and you think, actually, you know, I'm not the only one. For others who are at the beginning of their journey, if you like, you know, sharing that kind of information would probably be quite painful for them. Yeah. That's not to say going forward that would change, because the whole point of going through the coaching is to become more, and I love what you said about the awareness, because for me that's absolutely key. That is the number one. Awareness and language is absolutely key. So, you know, when they start to recognize the language they're using and start to recognize and their awareness of how that makes them feel, then they're more open to more of what I call holistic type ways, which is what you're offering. And certainly what I tend to focus on. So sometimes I have to take it really gently with some people, and others can go full on straight away. So it is something that I'm going to be looking at.
Okay, cool.
It raises a question for me. I was curious, like,
just to introduce Justin. Justin's my co-founder, business partner.
Oh, yeah, Wendy, about that, then I do have a question that I'd like to get your ideas on. Like there are people obviously that, like you said, aren't quite in that holistic mind approach sort of thing yet. I like to call it, my analogy for it is like they're of a questioning mind. So do you have ideas on maybe what we could do to help showcase that, this is a way to become active in that mind? Like there's people that, are aware that maybe there's something's going on, they want to figure something out. How do you think we could approach people with that based on your experiences and what you've seen here? Oh, I think you're muted.
Okay, yeah. My experience is to give them a very quick win, something that they can hold on to. Because when you've got somebody who is a little bit, let's say a non-believer, but this is all very new to them, giving them something that will rock their world a little bit. I use something called the lemon test, and that's just obviously when you do it face to face, it's easier to do to get them to imagine something, and then suddenly their whole body changes. Another thing as well, which I find great for non-believers, is the sway test. So have you ever come across the sway test before? Which is where, okay, so basically your body can't lie. And people don't realize that. So if you say you stand up, like if you're online, for example, you get them to stand sideways, and then you can say, okay, so repeat your name 3 times. And then generally then most people go forward, and you repeat somebody else's name, it takes you back. So your body is a yes, no. Okay. So then you can ask yourself questions. So once you know that's your yes and that's your no, and I have used that with a lot of non-believers, and they can't believe their body moved. It freaks them out in a good way. So sometimes it's a really, really tiny move. Other times it's quite dramatic. Other times they don't move at all, but they feel the body going. That's all that matters. So something like that, I would say give them a quick win. Or even like, for example, words. I mean, language for me is, I study language, I do quantum linguistics. So for me, language is everything. So for example, if you, Peter, I mentioned this, but you use the word hard in your statement earlier. You said, all my hard work, or how does hard work make you feel? It feels tough, right? But if you say my challenging work, suddenly that's freedom. Suddenly you're doing something with so much flow. So when someone's like, because this is so hard, you can always, I did it automatically, then just the body language just goes down. But when you say, oh, this is really challenging, so again, I did it automatically, my shoulders went back because I'm more engaged. So it's about thinking about the quick wins that you can give these people.
Yeah, cool.
Awesome.
Love it. Thank you.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah. Always looking for ways to obviously help bring people into the space as well, like, because it is such a good
brainwave over it. Nice. Thank you, Wendy.
You're welcome.
Thank you for the question, Justin. That was a good one.
I got plenty of questions.
I'm going to jump in on you, Justin. Wendy, that was awesome. That was, and I can see that you're a well-embodied coach. The way you jump up and the way you demonstrate that was fantastic, and great advice. And I just wanted to jump in and say how much I appreciate you two, the work that you've been doing to grind out to get this app up, because a lot of people don't know the challenges it actually takes to pull off something like this, and then to make it actually intuitive and sticky and want to come back. And obviously you two know, but I've been on Game On for how many months is it now, Pete? Is it
Must be
3
7
months? Hey, is it that long? Wow. So there you go. For me, it feels like 3 months, but it's like, yeah, it's been so long, and it's been every single day, every single morning. It's the self-discipline for a practice hasn't always been the best for me, but having this so simple, like the way you've made it, it's like I just pop on, I actually look forward to it. It's one of the first things I do after waking up. I got a beautiful view out my window, thankfully. I'll tune into Game On, and then I'll just fill in the prompts. And it's just such a powerful thing just to have those prompts, those questions. And, you know, like Peter, you and I have been friends for many years, but our friendship has deepened so much from just being present. And something that I really appreciate is, you know, obviously we all have limited time, and yet there's so many people we want to be connected with. And especially in the work that we do, you know, I have so many clients, so many people that I love them all, and I would love to jump on the call with them, but, you know, for hours on end, but just can't do that. But it's been amazing using Game On as a place to say, hey, can't call every day, but in the end, we want intimacy. All we want to do is feel each other. We don't need to have the conversations and the long things. And it's been such a powerful thing to be able to log on in the morning. I do my little entry and tune into whoever's there. So I'll get to feel you, Pete, and feel where you're at, what's going on. And it's like we've just had a little chat, even though we didn't even have to talk. And then the funny part is it's one of the few apps on my phone that I actually go back to during the day. Social media these days is for work, you know, for connecting with clients and promotion and things like that. But I find myself when I'm actually wanting to just have a little me time, I'll tune into Game On, and I'll be hoping someone, like I love like seeing if Ben's put a post in or somebody else has put a post, like Beth over in the States. And to me, that's been one of the most precious things with Game On and what you guys have put together, is the way it can help feel that connection. We're not alone. I mean, the world's going crazy right now. And, you know, everyone's kind of pretending like it's not going crazy, you know, putting on this face as if everything is normal, you know. And so it's really refreshing that it has turned into such an organically raw kind of sharing where there's people at different levels. You know, there's simpler ones where people are, you know, testing the waters, maybe not so open and confident, but I've even watched how that changes and people open up and they relax and they can, yeah. So I just want to say thanks. Thanks for everything you've done. And Wendy, I love that advice. And that brings up a good point as well. Is anyone who is watching the recording on this or whatever, you know, flick through emails, let these guys know what you want out of this app, you know, because it's already awesome. But with you, Justin, and the development, you know, you're a tech genius, and you're not just a tech genius, you're a genius in the way that you can take the ideas that Peter has brought to the table and that we've all brought to the table and weave them together in ways that can be functional. And that is an incredibly difficult thing to do, or incredibly challenging thing to do, I should say. Shout out, Wendy. And, you know, and the more we give feedback, the more we get to be part. And I love that feeling of like being part of the founding of this, the creating of this, and actually getting to make this what we want it to be, rather than what someone sitting in a business chair thinks we want. So yeah, that's my rant about how much I love you lot. Thank you.
Thanks, Mark. With you being a founding user, you really have made life easier for us on those early days, and just having your presence has been extremely well felt. So thank you.
Yeah, no, thank you heaps. I really, really appreciate that. Like, we don't get feedback all that often, so when we do get it, especially from hardcore users, we love it. I love it. It's great. And it's challenging, but I love the challenge. So
yeah. Awesome. Anyone else want to tell us how fantastic it is, or questions?
Honestly, I would just say like the same thing as Mark. Like, even though like I'm working on it every day, like there's a reason why I'm working on it, and it's not just because like, oh, please give me money to work on this and blah blah this. It's not just like a job for me. It's like something that I believe in, something I can see, and it's something that when I look forward ahead down the line, I can see how it actually like connects people, how it's going to work to alleviate stresses in businesses, how it's going to alleviate daily stresses like in individuals, and how to just help people in general overcome like themselves in a sense. But like just seeing that in the people and seeing it in the posts and seeing, like I said in the chat, it feels like you can tell where certain people are on the wave. Like, I gave my mum an example the other day, saying it's like there are like 4 people in this world that I know right now that are going through something related to distance, and it feels sucky. And like these 4 people all are feeling the same thing, but it's like the wave has crashed and we're all on the way to shore now. And it's like there are other people that are still riding their wave behind us, or, you know, they're receding back into the ocean. And it's like, it's an interesting vibe and feeling to see that in real time. But then imagining what that means later on for the world is like, it's huge and it's awesome. So I hope that makes sense.
Thanks, man. All right, beautiful people. Well, that was a great call to be on with you all, and I'm super privileged to have your attention for this time in this world of many options. So thank you so much for your support and faith in me and Game On and my boy Justin. So it's awesome to have you here. So high five. If you're willing to join us on Thursday night, we're going to start the Game On Live, Go Team Live. So that'd be cool just for a wrap up. And if you're available, it'd be great to see you.
No worries. How do we get onto the Game On Live?
Email is a link. It will be recurring link. So yeah, I'm sure I'll give an email following up this call, and then yeah, you will be bombarded with emails.
All right, no dramas.
Hope you appreciate it.
Sweet. I hope to be there, man. And Ben, we'll be thinking about you on your date night holding space, my brother. And
Oh, going on a
forward to
date,
seeing you
Betty.
next week.
Yeah. Oh yeah, boy. Fantastic
Nice.
news, man. All right, we'll check in
It's been a
soon.
pleasure, boys.
Thanks so much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good night.
Good night, mate.
Love it.